What's up, everyone? This is your host, Candace Cordelia, here for PWI FaceTurn, and we have a special series that we are doing ahead of NWA's annual Crockett Cup tournament. We'll be speaking with some of your favorite tag teams within the division, and today's episode, we're kicking things off with La Rebelion. They are NWA World Tag Team Champions, and they're also the tag team champions for the Crash in Mexico. How are you both doing today?
Very, very good. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Doing pretty good. Really excited about the Crockett Cup. Really excited about this interview. I've been reading PWI for many, many years, and it's more than an honor to be part of this.
Oh, it's an honor to have you both here. And I want to specifically state that I am speaking with Bestia 666 and Mecha Wolf. So I will be doing the questions for you both, but I might have some special questions individually for you. So you've been forewarned about that.
We like special questions.
Love it. Love it. So the first one that I want to have for you two gentlemen is, it seems as though you were a top seed pick for this tournament. You're a very popular tag team, not just within NWA, but within wrestling as a whole. How does it feel to be a part of this very special tournament? I mean, it's really an amazing tournament in the world of wrestling, and everyone knows about it.
Well, I'm more like a history nerd than he is. So I've been, researching, and I'm familiar with the Crockett Cup from many, many years. So I took it upon myself to watch every single Crockett Cup that I could get my hands on. To me, it's a big honor just to be part of the tournament, but not only that, but to be the first all-Latino born tag team holding the NWA World Tag Team Championships to be part of this tournament. It's a big deal for us. We not just say it, but we really mean it when we do say it, because, we've been working really hard, just like you said, all over the world, trying to make a name, trying to get ourselves out there. And finally, the NWA was the company to take a chance on us. And we haven't disappointed them, and we hope to not disappoint in the Crockett Cup. So it's an honor, and we're more than excited to be part of it, because it's a historic tournament that hosted historic tag teams before, and who better to be part of it than the World Tag Team Champions,
I love that. And I just want to iterate for those watching that the Crockett Cup has started dating back to the 1980s. So it's been around for quite some time, and it just keeps getting better and better as the years go on. I was doing my research, and you're both going to be in the opening round of this tournament. And depending on how things go, there might be a chance that you will face either the End or Hawks Aerie. And you guys have history with both tag teams, especially the End. You recently defended the title against them for Hard Times 2 with NWA. Given the circumstances, what would it be to, go up against either the End or Hawks Aerie, just depending on how things flow?
They're good. Both teams are very, very good. The only problem is that we beat them already. So we're familiar. We know what they do. We're more than ready, and we will win that match with the End or Hawks Aerie.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like we never went one-on-one with Hawks Aerie, like tag team versus tag team. We done 3-on-3. We won. We wrestled the End many times, and we won. So to us, it's not like a matter of who wins or who doesn't win. If it was a preference, I would like to, personally, I would like to face Hawks Aerie, because I believe it's a team that needs to be seen more in the company. I think the End had their chances many, many times, and they just flopped. So if I was going to pick a team that we were going to face, if we do get past the first round, because we do have a first round match against a play-in tag team that we don't know who it's going to be, as four teams are going to go into a match to see who's going to face us in the first round. If we do get through the first round, we will either face, the End or Hawks Aerie. Like I said, I prefer to face Hawks Aerie, because I feel like it'll be not a better match, but I feel it'll be a match that people haven't seen, So hopefully they'll get through the End to face us on the second round. But if they do get through the End, they're not going to get through us.
Mm-hmm. Well said. Absolutely. Speaking in terms of tag teams, a lot of fans are really clamoring to see more tag team action. We've seen a lot of this chatter, especially in the past couple of years, and more people are just really excited to see more tag teams in the ring in general. In terms of the current state of tag team wrestling, what are your thoughts on it?
I think tag team wrestling, right now, it's huge. If you look other companies, they have
they're full with teams.
They're full with tag teams. So yeah, it's huge. And
I believe personally, I'm speaking for him as well. Tag team wrestling right now is at the best place that it could be, but it's not at that place where it was in the 80s when the Crockett Cups and everything started way back then, where like tag team wrestling was the type of wrestling that could main event a show. And we're trying to get tag team wrestling back to that point again. There's many amazing tag teams in every single company. If you look at like companies like AEW, they're loaded with tag teams. Companies like Impact, they're loaded with tag teams. You look at the NWA, we have the company that's loaded with some of like the best tag teams that you've ever seen and tag teams that you've never even heard of. So I believe that we're at that place right now where people are ready for that change. They're ready for that kind of like tag team takeover. And I believe that the Crockett Cup could be that weekend where we cement tag team wrestling once again into the history.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of changes, NWA, the promotion itself, has gone through a lot of wonderful changes over the years. What does it mean for you both to be a part of the current state of NWA?
It's an honor and a privilege to be part of the NWA. Honestly, since I'm a second generation, I'm always looking for that place to work. And NWA was one of those places that I wanted to work. And now I'm here. We're here. So it's very, very, very huge for this accomplishment for me.
Going back to what I said earlier, that I'm a wrestling nerd, I watched NWA. I watched, when it turned into WCW, blah, blah, blah. I studied wrestling like all my life. So being just part of the company is a huge deal for us. But not only that, just the fact that we're representing Puerto Ricans, we're representing Mexicans, we're representing Latinos. And not only as that, but we are tag team champions and we're holding some of the most prestigious tag team belts ever in wrestling. Not in my opinion, but that's just facts. So we feel really, really happy that, like I said, Billy and Pat took a chance on us to kind of like, switch things up a little bit and bring this crazy, weird looking tag team into this like company that is known for a certain style, where you got these crazy guys with sixes on their forehead and upside down crosses. But when we go out there, we bring it, so we definitely add a different flavor to the company. And when you see us walking around the locker room, you can tell, we stick out like a sore thumb. But, it's good to have that kind of representation. And just like Bestia said, it's a huge honor for us. And it means a lot to us just to be part of this company.
Mm-hmm. And you both speak with so much passion and love for the sport of wrestling. This question is for you, Mecca, specifically. It was reported that you were going to retire around or at the end of 2020. What brought you back to the sport?
It was like one of those things. First of all, I never consulted it with him. So when you're in a tag team, it's kind of like you're married, so like it's kind of like your husband or wife dipping on you. You don't even know. It was like one of those things that you just wake up and you're just like fed up with everything. Honestly, I was just tired of the state of professional wrestling and what it had become. And I wanted to work on my music. I have a band, Monster Wolf, that, I've been working on a record for the last couple of years. So I wanted to just completely dive into that. But then I realized that like there was a market out there for La Rebelion. There was a market out there for tag team wrestling. There was an opportunity to do more. And I feel like if I would have just up and quit, we would have never won these belts. We would have never stepped into the NWA. We would never be having this interview right now. So it was one of those things that I had to like sit back and be like, okay, what do you really want to do? You could do music and you could do wrestling. Just stay away from the bad people. And I decided to just, go ahead and keep following my dreams. And also it affects him. So I had to think about that too. So here we are, La Rebelion is stronger than ever, and we're just going to keep on going.
That's awesome. And I see the guitars in the back. How's the music going now?
It's pretty good. I've been tracking actually all this week, and hopefully in the next month I'll have another single out, and the record should be out in like three months. It's just been a lot of work. It's like a 2-year process.
Wow. Well, look out for it. That's really exciting. Next question. You're welcome. Next question for you, Bestia, is you mentioned not long ago about being second generation. Your father, Damian 666, professional wrestler as well. What are his thoughts about what you're doing right now in the NWA and being a part of this really successful tag team?
Oh, he's super proud. I can tell. He always support me. He wants to go to the Crockett Cup, but unfortunately he's booked somewhere else. He wants to be part of it. This year he'll be 40 years in the business. So he's about to retire now, but he's super excited. Like I said, everybody knows what it means to be part of NWA. So very, very proud of me and Señor Mecha. Yeah.
And kind of like, just to like touch on that, obviously he's his son, but me looking from the outside in, just seeing Damian's body language and stuff, he's one of those guys that he doesn't need to like really go like, hey, you did so good, but like just him kind of giving you the, like the nod of approval. It's really cool to see, not only for him, but for us, because he's a legend, he's been everywhere, he's done it all. So it's really cool just to see him, kind of like give those little flashes of happiness when he sees them. So it's really cool to see.
That is really cool. That's really, really nice. What do you both think is the biggest misconception people may have of La Rebelion?
Conception. Como que una idea errónea de lo que es la rebelión. Sí. Can I go first? I'll go first. I believe that the misconception, in my opinion, is that because we have makeup, because we have crazy hair, because we have tattoos, or we have a certain image, we have to talk a certain way, we have to look a certain way. As you can tell, I'm very educated. I've studied a lot. I've been living in America for a long time, since 2008, on and off, and now I live in Mexico. So I made sure that I was educated, and when I talk and when I speak, I try to not sound like this or sound a certain way. Like, people expect us to sound a certain way, move a certain way, talk a certain way. And, La Rebelión, we put on our makeup, we go out there and we do what we do. But there's always like this misconception that because you're Latino, you have to be a certain way. You have to come out with a Puerto Rican flag, come out with a Mexican flag. People know he's Mexican. People know I'm Puerto Rican. They know what we represent. We don't have to go out there and tell them what we represent. And I feel like that's a really big misconception, not only with us, but with Latino wrestlers, period. They expect you to be a certain way. They're like, okay, you're Puerto Rican, here's a Puerto Rican flag, go represent Puerto Rico. Yeah, you're Mexican, here's a Mexican flag, go represent Mexico. And it shouldn't be like that. I feel like I want to bring it back to the era where characters were characters. We don't need to go out there flagging our countries, because we carry it in our heart. We carry it right here. We don't have to go out there and spit it and tell the whole world. And I always wanted to be that type of a person, where like, okay, people know Mecca is Puerto Rican, but he's different, So to me, there's that big misconception when it comes to us, that when they look at us, they're like, oh, they expect us to sound like evil and really mean, or sound like with a really heavy accent. Well, you have a little bit of an accent, but you know what I mean. But it's like one of those things where like I wanted to kind of like us to be outside of that little box, if that makes sense.
And also, I'm glad that we were working with NWA, because it has the American style. And other misconception is that misconception is that people, the the fans or some promoters think that we only do lucha. No, we're well prepared and we can adapt to any wrestling style. So I think that's
another thing where they see us and they're like, oh, they're luchadors. It's like, well, we wrestle in Mexico, but technically if you see us in Mexico, we don't wrestle like luchadors. We wrestle like us, So, I would say a luchador would be like somebody like Dragon Lee, like Bandido, like Aramis, guys like that. They're straight luchadors. We kind of combine the strong style, the American wrestling, the hardcore wrestling, and lucha libre, and we make it into a little hybrid style. Yeah. So there's not like that little misconception. It's like, okay, you're luchadors and you have to speak like this and you have to look like this and move like this. It doesn't have to be that way. And I believe that we're trying to break that mold,
Mm-hmm. Those are really powerful points you've made. And thank you for stating them, because I think it's important for people to understand that. Mm-hmm. Having said that about your background, what is a dream match that you both would like to have?
Honestly,
with any tag team?
Any tag team.
Honestly, I don't have a dream match right now. So any tag team, it's good for me.
It's not a dream match, but it will be like, I would love to wrestle the Briscoes, and I know they're in the Crockett Cup as well. They're on the other side of the bracket, so if we do meet, it will be in the finals. I would love to wrestle the Briscoes. I just saw that the British Invasion added Davey Boy Smith, and I've known him for years. I would love to wrestle Doug and Davey. I think it would be a great match. Very big clash of styles. And as far as top guys, I think that Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, they're holding the AEW tag team titles. That would be another good match. And finally, the one match that I believe that we should have before we hang them up is against FTR. They're honestly probably pound for pound the best in-ring tag team, in my opinion. And I believe that we will have an amazing match with them if it ever happened. So yeah, those will be those 4 teams.
FTR.
Give you a lot to pick.
Yes, all of those would be bangers. I'm just sitting here trying to envision all of that. So we're gonna put it into the universe and make sure it can happen for you both, right? What is the legacy you want La Rebelion to have, not just within NWA, but within wrestling overall?
No sé.
Legado que quieres dejar.
Well, one thing.
He looks like that, but he's really shy.
No, I'm shy. Not only I'm shy, but I have to translate and then put it into words.
Sure.
He'll start.
As far as like our legacy outside the ring, I work really, really hard in everything that I've ever done all my life, and I put 110% passion into everything that I've ever done. I just want to be remembered as somebody that worked really hard, as somebody that tried to help other people coming up and give them a hand as much as I could. I believe that you can't just grab the torch and just run with it forever. You have to learn how to hand it back down and pass it to people coming after us. I'm a firm believer that we need to leave the business better than what we found it when we found it, right? So as far as like a legacy as a person, that would be it. Just be the best person you could be, and help people that are coming behind you. As far as the legacy of La Rebellion, we're already making a legacy. We're already a tag team that is, right there in the annals of history with the Road Warriors, right there with Dusty and Nikita, right there with Steamboat and all those guys that won the NWA tag team titles before. So to me, I would love to just keep this legacy going. Obviously we have the NWA World Tag Team Championships. There is more goals, like winning the Crockett Cup, like maybe, wrestling for other major tag team titles in the future. We don't want to be the best team in the States. We don't want to be the best team in Mexico. We want to be the greatest team of all time. And when I say that, I believe it. And I believe it because we hold those tag team titles. So that's what we want to leave behind as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Yeah, the legacy, like he said, we're already doing our legacy because we're holding these. Very, very important. Also, you know, I want to have like the same respect as my dad, because everybody look at my dad like some sort of authority and as a mentor. So I think we already doing that. We don't mess with people. We don't get too much into politics or anything. We just go and do our work, and that's what I like to, that we would like to do. We just go perform, do our thing, and like nothing else. So I don't know if that's a kind of a legacy, but es que le quería decir como que, one second, como de que nuestro trabajo, o sea, habla por...
Yeah, our work speaks for itself. Our work speaks for itself, and our track record speaks for itself. And I believe that once it's all said and done, you know, people will remember the name La Rebelion.
Very well said. It's been a pleasure meeting you both. Thank you so much for your time and your talent. And we're so excited to see what La Rebelion does at this year's Crockett Cup tournament. Do you both have any parting thoughts before we say goodbye?
Las últimas palabras.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you so much for having us. It's an honor being here with PWI. It's an honor being part of the NWA. It's an honor being part of the Crockett Cup. And I hope to see you guys March 19th and 20th on Fight TV at the Nashville Fairgrounds. That's where it's going to take place. La Rebelion on the first round against, we don't know. But at the end of the day, I think that we're going to leave our mark and our staple in history come the March 19th and 20th, the Crockett Cup.
Absolutely. Amen. And you heard it here, everyone watching March 19th and 20th. You can watch the annual Crockett Cup tournament on Fight TV. Go to NWA's social media and their websites for more information. And of course, you can find out all you need to know about Bestia 666 and Mecha Wolf on their social media platforms. Thank you both once again for being a part of this very special PWI series. And thank you all for watching another special episode of PWI Presents FaceTurn with Candace Cordelia. I'm your host, Candace Cordelia, signing off.